Hello everyone, and welcome back to Ivy Channel. Today I will be reading an exciting adventure story called The Secret of the Lost Valley. Join us as we follow brave young explorers on a journey filled with mystery, friendship, and amazing discoveries. Will they uncover the secret hidden deep inside the Lost Valley? Let's begin our adventure. 12-year-old Jake loved adventures. He spent most of his free time reading books about explorers, hidden treasures, and mysterious places. One rainy afternoon, Jake was helping his grandfather clean out an old shed behind their house. Inside a dusty wooden chest, he found an old leather journal. "What is this?" Jake asked. His grandfather smiled. "I haven't seen that in years." Jake carefully opened the journal. Inside were maps, sketches of mountains, and notes written by his great-grandfather, who had been an explorer. One page caught his attention. Across the top, in large letters, were the words, "The Lost Valley." Below it was a note. "Beyond the three peaks lies a hidden valley no map has ever shown. Its greatest secret is still waiting to be discovered." Jake's heart raced. A hidden valley? A secret waiting to be discovered? This was exactly the kind of adventure he dreamed about. The next morning, Jake showed the journal to his best friend Emma. Emma loved mysteries almost as much as Jake did. "You know what this means," Emma said. Jake grinned. "We have to find the valley." The journal contained directions leading toward a mountain range several miles away. The two friends packed backpacks with water, food, flashlights, ropes, and a copy of the journal. Then they set off. After hours of hiking, they reached the mountains. Three giant peaks rose into the clouds. "They must be the three peaks from the journal," Emma said. Jake checked the map. According to the journal, a hidden path lay somewhere between the mountains. The problem was finding it. For nearly an hour they searched. Then Emma noticed something unusual. A line of carved stones led into a thick forest. "I think I found it." The adventure had truly begun. The path wound through a dense forest. Tall trees blocked much of the sunlight. Birds chirped high above. Occasionally they spotted deer moving quietly between the trees. But the trail became harder to follow. Soon it split into three different directions. "Which way?" Emma asked. Jake opened the journal. One clue read, "Follow the path where water sings." They listened carefully. At first they heard nothing. Then Emma smiled. A stream. The sound of flowing water echoed through the trees. Following the sound, they found the correct path. The trail eventually led to a beautiful waterfall. Crystal clear water crashed into a pool below. Behind the waterfall, Jake noticed something. A dark opening, a cave. "Do you think we're supposed to go through there?" Emma asked. Jake nodded. The journal mentioned a hidden cave behind falling water. Carefully, they stepped behind the waterfall and entered. The cave was cool and dark. Their flashlights lit the walls. Ancient drawings covered the stone. Mountains, animals, and a valley hidden among them. They were on the right track. Deep inside the cave, they discovered a giant stone door. Strange symbols were carved across its surface. In the center was a circular puzzle. Jake examined the journal. One page showed the same symbols. "It says the valley can only be reached by solving the puzzle." The symbols represented the seasons: spring, summer, autumn, winter. Emma carefully arranged them in the correct order. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, rumble. The stone door slowly slid open. A cool breeze rushed through. Beyond it was a narrow tunnel. The tunnel opened onto an incredible sight. Jake and Emma stood speechless. Below them stretched a beautiful valley surrounded by cliffs. Bright flowers covered the ground. A sparkling river wound through green fields. Colorful birds filled the sky. "It actually exists," Emma whispered. The Lost Valley was real. No roads led into it. No towns appeared on any maps. The valley had remained hidden for generations. Near the center of the valley stood an old stone tower. The journal described it as the heart of the valley. Jake and Emma hurried toward it. Inside they found spiral stairs leading upward. At the top was a circular room. Windows overlooked the entire valley. In the center stood a wooden chest. Jake carefully opened it. Inside were old maps, journals, and drawings created by explorers who had visited the valley long ago. But there was no treasure, at least not the kind they expected. Among the papers was a letter. Jake unfolded it carefully. The letter read, "If you have found this place, you have discovered its greatest secret. The valley is not valuable because of gold or jewels. Its true treasure is the knowledge it protects. The journals contain information about rare plants, animals, and natural wonders found nowhere else. Generations of explorers had worked to protect the valley. Now Jake and Emma understood. The valley's secret wasn't treasure. It was nature itself." As they explored the tower, dark clouds gathered overhead. A storm rolled into the valley. Thunder echoed between the cliffs. Rain poured from the sky. The river began rising quickly. "We need to get back," Emma shouted. The path they had used earlier was becoming flooded. Working together, they carefully crossed fallen logs and slippery rocks. Lightning flashed above them, but they kept moving. At last they reached the cave entrance. Safe inside, they waited for the storm to pass. The next morning, sunshine returned. The valley looked more beautiful than ever. Before leaving, Jake and Emma made a promise. They would help protect the lost valley. Some places were too special to be damaged by careless visitors. They copied notes from the journals, but left everything else exactly where it belonged. The valley had survived for hundreds of years. They wanted it to survive for hundreds more. Several days later, Jake and Emma returned home. Their families listened in amazement as they described their adventure. Most people would never see the Lost Valley, but Jake didn't mind. The adventure wasn't about becoming famous. It wasn't about finding gold. It was about discovery, friendship, courage, and protecting something wonderful. That night, Jake placed his great-grandfather's journal on a shelf. As he closed it, a folded piece of paper slipped out. Jake unfolded it. His eyes widened. At the top were 4 words: "The hidden island awaits." Jake smiled. Some adventures never truly end. The greatest treasures are not gold or jewels. They are the discoveries we make, the friendships we build, and the natural wonders we choose to protect. Thank you for listening and choosing me again for another amazing adventure. I hope you enjoyed The Secret of the Lost Valley. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep exploring, and never stop discovering new worlds through stories. See you in the next adventure. Goodbye.